do apologise. Okay, so a little bit bedlam back here on the scenes. Sorry. So a little bit organised chaos is going on. I'm not sure. I thought I'll pop back on. I've not been on since March. Lots going on behind the scenes. So you'll have to bear with me. I'll catch up with you guys. So I know it's been a while. Hiya, Bridie. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. There have been a couple of factors. Trolls being one of them. So Mr. Phil will be here in the background. So he will be my admin to delete anybody that starts their carry on. Because it just gets too much. And I've ended up with I've got a lovely community that come over and follow me over on YouTube, as well as over my Instagram, and they're not just my community, they're my friends as well as my customers. And when all the abuse and all the silly comments and the trolling and the really immature stupid stuff that's going on, and I'm gonna have this little rant now while I'm here. Hiya, Victoria. When all this stupid trolling stuff is going on and it's aimed at me and people being quite nasty or pathetic is probably the better word for it, not so much nasty but just really pathetic and immature, it ruins it for other people. And a couple of the followers on here, they're not young women, they're not in their 30s and 20s that can take this sort of stupidity. They're women in the 60s and 70s as well, and they've got enough going on in their life. They come and sit and have a natter with me because it's relaxing, okay? So anyone in future that will sit and watch this, is the last time I'm going to say it, you will be blocked and you will be reported. Okay, that's it, rant over with. Not having it. Not having it. I've got enough carry on in my life. Hiya, Victoria and Bridie. I've got enough going on in my life. I don't need this. Anyway, so it's a little bit hectic here. I am in the middle and my hands are killing me. I've been putting together these tablet weaving kits because another reason why I haven't been on my live chat for a couple of weeks, because I've been dyeing and blending like a lunatic. I am up in Edinburgh, for those of you that don't follow me on social media, like Instagram or Facebook. I'm in Edinburgh next weekend on the Friday. I'm on your telly, Bridie. I'm always on your telly. You're down to be giving it, oh God, there she goes. There is, she's waffling away. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought. It's not that hard to do these days at the moment. I'm in tick list zone. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've been doing these little 3D printed sets, but I've been dying like a fiend. I've started taking bits and pieces, or not taking them off the website, but hiding them on the website. Hi, Liz. Hi, everyone. Home today. Last minute change of plans, so you get to catch up with me. Brilliant. Always in Portugal, the foodie competition. It's all right for some, isn't it? It's all right for some. It dawned on Phil the other day then. It's the first time he'll ever spend a night in this house on his own without me in it since we bought the house 5 years ago. 5 years ago, in about 3 weeks' time, we've lived in this house for now. So I'm at Edinburgh at the Summer Hall gallery in the city centre. It's a 5-minute walk away from Waverley train station, just in case there's anybody's watching later on, if you fancy a day out. And it starts next Friday. It's on for 2 days, so it's Friday at noon till 6, and that's the 26th of April, and the following day on the Saturday from 10 till 4 in the afternoon. 30 degrees, too hot for me. We actually have a dry day. Yeah, we've got a dry day today. We popped out this morning because I needed a you can't find a flat bed sheet for love nor money. What is it with fitted bed sheets? And I'm not paying the price of the Dunelm. I needed a navy blue flat bed sheet to go over the top of my table for next week, but I couldn't find anything. It was all fitted sheets. So I ended up buying a big dark blue throw at Phil's work, and I got some fancy pegs for putting my price lists on some things so I don't have to constantly be asked. And then I've just gone through my website and I remembered that I've got these sets with my spindles and knitting on it, so I thought I'll stick them in a couple of bags so they look neat and tidy instead of in their elastic bands. When they're in here, everything's elastic banded together to keep them together. So I'm like a postman. There's elastic bands everywhere. everywhere. The postman in our street, is everyone else the same? You find elastic bands lying out in your footpath, in your garden, or right in the street. You could probably get an entire elastic band ball in our street from our postman. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I've been sanding like a fiend, trying to get these tablet weaving cards. So I've got a set of 18. I've been sanding those down, 18, and then 2 little sizes of these little card weaving inkle shuttles that I've been printing off. This one's glittery. Packing up my yarn bowls. I've hidden all the 3D printed stuff on the website now, and I've hidden the yarns, the Turkish spindles, and the niddy noddies, and what other bits and pieces I had in there in 3D printed. They're all hidden away. What else have I hidden away? My blend sets. Apart from I don't think I've taken my Patreon ones off there. I think I'm leaving them on the website, because I don't really want to take them up. Or do I want to take them up to Edinburgh? I don't know yet. I haven't made up my mind. I might take them with me, but put them under my table and use them as emergency stock, just in case. Who knows? I've got 5 dye pots I did last week. 4.5, nearly 5 kilos of wool I have dyed up in the last week and a bit. My hands have been a permanent colour of indigo blue. And my nails are absolutely, still got dye on them. It's nice, but only 10 degrees here. Big difference. It will hit him when he gets home tomorrow. Your stock looks fabulous. You should do really well at Edinburgh. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I've got a load of rovings over there. I've packed up 2 boxes full of bats. I think there's 12 in each of them. But then I remembered I forgot to put the prices on them. So I've got a load of rovings over there, because I've been taking photos of everything, all the new stock, and listing them on the website, but hiding them on the just in case they don't sell and I come back home with them. That's the last thing I want, honestly. But I've been doing that as well, so I'm not just making this stuff. I'm photographing it, listing it, doing all those bits and all the SEOs in the background, and then hiding it on the website and putting the prices on them and everything else on the off chance that they don't. Funky Nails, a true dyer. Honestly, Victoria, they're a nightmare. I'm going to have to I've got some of that Sistico nail stuff, you know, the home manicure acrylic where you dip your fingers in the glitter thing. I'll be having to do that next week. I've got 900 grams of roving over there to dye. So I've got Punta and Aries. I've got Merino, I think it's 10 cell blend. I've got a couple 100 grams of that left. I think I've got a bag of Como. Yeah, which you know, every single time I do a stock order, I buy myself in some Como, and I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna dye that myself, and before I know it, the following week, sales have probably got a little bit quiet, and I'll begrudge going and doing a bigger order until I've got a bit more money, and I'll end up using the Como in an art bat, and I never get to flame and use this Como. I'm the same with my Merino soybean as well, and I have seen myself sat here with no sales for about 3 weeks, desperately needing wool, and I've had 400 grams of merino soya in my box and refused to use it, but eventually I have to give in and use it anyway. Do you know, I look like I've got a boof on today. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Needs a little trim again. So yeah, this morning, so we popped out and did that. I got some pegs. I got some funky card to put my price stickers on. I rooted around for boxes. There's Mr. Park. My heart is bleeding. David Footy in the sun and probably a shandy in his hand. There you go. He's jealous. He saw that picture of your other half the other day there, Bridie, on her Facebook. He's like, there's people out there that just don't get it. I'm like, yeah, I'm one of them. I don't get it. I don't understand. He's just a man playing football at the end of the day. I don't understand why he's worth £3.5 million. Honestly. So yeah, that is it. I've got 3 more skeins of hand dyed warp to skein up. So this one's Blue Faced Leicester, blended with Shetland. So I think it's a 35-35 ratio, and then it's got Tussa Silk in with it. So these are turned out quite nice. So I've got a nice little selection of those. They're in my big wicker box over there. I've got those rovings over there. I've got 5 more to do. And I've got that box down there is full of them. Yeah, that box down there is full of them. Those are over there, and I need another box to put them in. Honestly, then I'm having to empty out boxes that I use for storing all my rubbish in. You know, the stuff that you're like, I'll use that one day, but you never end up using it. And what you end up actually doing is a year later sticking them all in bags and shoving them on the shop, so you can squirrel away all your stash bits. So I've been keeping my will boxes because I've got collapsible boxes. You know which ones I'm on about, where you've just got a little zip at the bottom of it, and you just pop the lid up underneath and you can flatten them down. Well, I've got a couple of those that I use for my bits and pieces. So I'm literally tipping them out into these World of Wool boxes. Because I said to Phil, so I'm not taking my World of Wool boxes with all my bats. And he's like, yeah, you're not doing free advertising. So I've ended up having to tuff all that lot into these boxes just so I can have a space so I can start packing all my stuff away. Otherwise, I'm not going to have any room for anything. Honestly. And then I've just found out as well that they emailed me the other day there at the Willie Good Gathering and said, oh, you've only got a standard stall. There's no way you're going to be able to fit two 2x6 tables in your lot of space. I'm like, oh God, that leaves me with one table. And my list for what I'm going to take seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger, thanks to one certain event organiser that keeps pinching me pictures and posting them. So I went from just taking bats and rovings and the spindles to stitch markers, tablet weaving sets, hand-dyed warp-tied yarns, and a couple of other bits that I wasn't supposed to take in the first place, but apparently I am taking them. Oh, crikey. So I'm like, where am I supposed to put it all? So I've got a little old plant stand, you know those collapsible ones with the 3 shelves. So I've got one of those, and I gave it a makeover. I took it out of my greenhouse, I gave it a makeover. And then she told me I've only got to have one table. I'm like, oh no, where am I going to put it all? Where am I going to put it all? So I've seen on Amazon another one sit a little bit about 1.5 times the pot stand size width-wise than what I've already got. Used to having a conversation over there. So it's got like a hanging rail at the top of it attached as well, and it's a foldable one. Perfect. So I'll order that tomorrow. Thank goodness. And so I can. And then what I'll do is I'll grab all my butcher's hooks that are all over the place. I've got them everywhere. The butcher's hooks. Hopefully they'll fit over the top of this bamboo rail that's on it. And then I can hang my warps from there, and that'll give me another shelf space. Thanks, Phil. He was so made up, Joe. I think he was only worth about 3,000 back in the 70s. I believe in that 3,000. I think my dad was on back in the 70s, army wages. He was probably on the equivalent of about, I don't know, £7.50 a week. Butcher's hooks are fabulously useful. Love the sound of the Amazon display thing. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it, Elizabeth. It's really quite cool. You could hang. I've got a shawl down there, a crocheted shawl. I'm going to take it just for display. And I've got my woven shawl it's a bit too small, but I could take that for display as well. And then just show what the capabilities of doing it. And then I've got a couple bits and pieces around, not just display bits. Yeah, please, Joe. Might be useful for school stalls. Yes, exactly. It's about, I think it's 68 centimetres wide. And it looks like my potting shelf. You know those folding ones with the actual shelves lift up and the 3 different sizes? Is that exact same thing, but it's got this arm that sits at the top and a rail above it, and it's 45 quid off of Amazon. So I'll send you the link for it later on. Butcher's hooks are fabulous for displaying stuff. They're amazing. I have all sorts hanging off the top of here because I've got the butcher's rack at the top. Remember, this used to be in my kitchen. I used to be my kitchen island. I tell you, it's worth its flaming money. Got this from IKEA. I need to get rid of my sofa bed. I need the space. The sofa bed is just not practical in this room at all. I need more space. I even dreamt that I made Phil move all my work furniture around and put my workspace up there and extend it so it goes across here, and I had big deep shelves in those alcoves just so I had more space. He's going to throttle me. He's going to throttle me. But I had a dream about it the other night, so if I dreamt about it, it's got to happen at some point. This room's constantly evolving. Yeah, so what else have I been up to? That's it. It's just literally, it's ticking off little things off inside the back of my head. And it's like when I do my Advents, you feel like you're never going to get there, and all you seem to be doing is constantly die, 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 and then blending up what I have to blend up, and then you divvy them all out into smaller bits. You're like, do you know what? I'm never going to get there. But before you know it, and I've definitely got to thank my past life. Listen to him. Look at his face, his little angry face. I've got to thank my past career in as working as a chef and in hospitality. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I could run this business and not have a nervous breakdown. And it's helped learn to control my panic attacks and my chronic anxiety as well. Because when I first did my Christmas Advents, I mean, Phil will tell you, I was like, felt like I was on a constant roller coaster of emotions and doubt in myself. But I mean, I've got four, 5 of those Christmas Advents under my belt now, and it's a breeze. And doing the Easter ones are dead easy. Well, it's not that it's easy. I think once you figure out how to do something, it's like doing a catering function for a christening for 250 people. You're like, right, how the heck am I supposed to feed 250 people and store all this food? But it is possible, and it gets done all the time. And I used to be able to do it with my eyes closed. But throw anybody else in that situation, they'd have a meltdown, they'd walk out. But it's just about having priorities and sorting things out. And now I'm actually at that point. I can see the end of my week. Have you ever thought about doing a tour? I do a Tour de Fleece adventure. I do actually do the Tour de Fleece. Last year wasn't that great. I think I only sold a couple of sets. The year before was decent. Over COVID, I think I was still getting people asking after I took the listings off. I do them generally as a pre-order, Victoria, because I do them all in one big batch, and then I post them all out, and then I may do 1 or 2 just to shove on the website, and they'll sit there for a while. But I've done the Tour de Fleece as a art yarn spin set, and I put in I think it was 150 gram 150 gram art bat, or it might, oh no, it was 100 gram art bat in the colour theme inspiration that we went with. And I think that year, everyone, I did a vote. I did a vote on what colours people wanted me to use. And I generally do leave that sort of thing to everybody on social media to choose what colourway. So I'll go off and pick a couple of different ones, or I'll ask a question, go off and find them, come back with the pictures, a bit like what I do on Patreon, and then let them vote on what we're going to do. So yeah, that's what I generally do for that. So I mean, that's a little while off, so I'll probably be thinking about that in May when I come back. You'd think I'm going away for a month. I'm not. I'm going away for 2 days. So yeah, I did an art spin set, and that was 100 gram art bat and a roving to match, and it was a blended roving, not just a standard breed roving, but it was a blended merino roving with something. And then I did a nice selection of art yarns, and I mean, like, oh no, I'll show you. Oh, matching, coordinating, like textured threads and stuff like that, so that you could create it. So yeah, that went on the website for a couple of years, and I think I did them 2, maybe 3 years in a trot. As well as that, you can either order the 200 grams of rovings, and I think I either did it in the one colour or I did it as a pair complimentary. And then you had your bats on their own, but they were 150 grams. I think the rovings I did as 200 grams rovings as one big roll in a bag. So yeah, they will be back. I do them every year. So yeah, so watch out. I will I'll go and look up the date for the Tour de France, see when the dates are, and I will probably send out the emails. So check your emails. And if you're not getting the emails, check your spam box, because I use my personal WoolieCottage email address, and sometimes it goes into spam. So if people get subscribed and you can't find it, that's where it will be. I don't have a business, because I'm not paying more money. I might as well just use my own inbox. But the website's linked up to it anyway. Yeah, so yeah, Tour de Fleece, I definitely do that. Have been doing that for this will be my 7th year doing Tour de Fleece. This shawl behind me, God, there's cables. That shawl down there, I did with a Tour de Fleece. Hiya Sandra, didn't know you were doing a live today. Did I not mention last night when I was messaging people about what to do with 900 grams of roving? I told Liz, I must have thought I told everybody else. Yeah, because I messaged Hilly, Sandra, Liz, and Highland Cow, Alison, what to do with 900 grams. And the question was, I said, I just need to bench your fluffy brains in a minute. What do I do with 900 grams? What would you rather have? What would you like to see that you don't see often of when you go to a wool fair? As in like rovings and how they're dyed. Do you want them solid coloured or speckled? And then Hilly's, yeah. I think you did say you were doing live on a post somewhere. Yes, I did mention it yesterday. That just goes to show that Sandra doesn't pay attention to my posts. And her being my mate and all. Anything I have a dig at, because she can't shout back at me, you see. She can only type. She can't shout at me through the video screen like she would normally do. She'd be swearing over there somewhere. Yeah, so it's not manic, it's organised chaos. But I'm really chuffed to how my tablet weave sets have come out. And then I've got, as I say, I've got these niddy noddy sets. I went rummaging for my packaging. So I've put them in those. Just wait till next week. Oh no, Sandra's helping me out on the stall, and we're spending the night together. We're going to be bunk buddies for the Friday night next week, because bless his cotton socks, Sandra's other half paid for it to have a double room, and then she says, "Do you want to share it with me?" I'm like, "Well, it's better than 22 quid in a blinking backpacker's shack." Though I would have quite happily have done that anyway. So yeah, so Sandra will be there for both Saturday and Friday, helping me out in the stall, and then going off for a little wander herself. Healy's going to be there on the Saturday, and so is Alison from Healing Coo. So yeah, so we'll all be there. And do you know, there's only me and one other that are selling spinning fibres at this event, with 26 other stalls. But a lot of them are independent farmers and breeders as well, who get their wools milled and stuff, so they're all Scottish. There's just me and this one other person, Yarn Things, who are from this side of the old border, though I'm closer and I am actually half Scottish. And when I talk to Sandra, Phil goes mad because my accent starts to come back out again. So yes, so I keep getting asked, are you looking forward to it now? And do you know what? It hasn't hit me yet, and it won't hit me. I'll have a slight internal panic attack about 10 to 12. You will have a great time if photos needed. I'm going to try and next Friday, when I'm setting up my table, I'm going to try and do a couple little live posts, like Siobhan Crafts does, when she does her live things. I want to try and do show for Phil, not taxi. Phil's taking me up on the Friday. We've got to be there for 8 o'clock in the morning, so we've got to leave here at 5. Pack the car up Thursday night like Tetris. I've got to get my spinning wheel sorted out and get my new drive band on it, and get her all looking smart and tidy, because I'm taking her with me. God knows where I'm going to put her. I have no idea where I'm going to put her and where we're going to get a chance to use her. But yeah, so I've got my drive band up there, so I've got to get that done. Everything that everyone keeps asking me, are you getting excited? Are you looking forward to it? And I'm like, do you know what? I haven't felt it yet. I'm feeling relieved that I can see the end of it all now, because it's been really hard work, in the sense that I've been dyeing all this stuff and all this stock, and trying to keep stuff away, but I've got to keep my business going as well, so I'm having to list it. So some of the newer stuff that I made up with the intentions of it have sold, and then I've had to do more. And then I found out that one of the event organisers had posted pictures of my weaving warp yarns from that I did as a trial back at the beginning of the year, or was it last year, and saying that I was bringing them with them, and went onto their website and they say that I'm bringing them with me. So I had to borrow money off of Phil and buy a load of Luxe yarns. There's a cashmere blend in there. Hold on a minute, have I got it here? Is that it? Yeah. There's a superwash merino with alpaca and mulberry silk. Sandra says she'll be on her best behaviour. No. Then there's a superwash blue face Leicester with alpaca and cashmere. And there's a camel blend. It's over there. I can't remember what's in it. Hold on a minute. No, that's the Shetland and Tussar silk thingy. There's a camel one around here somewhere, but I can't at this moment remember what it's blended with. So I've done 3 metre ones, and with the last 3 colours I've got left over, I'm doing 2.2 metres, which gives you, depending on which yarn it is, roughly between 320 wool pens and 360 I've got to so far was the highest one. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. I want to get this 3D printed stuff out the way. I've got one more last lot, though I may do some more next week. If they're advertised all the extra things, surely you should provide extra floor display space for no extra cross. The woman sort of mentioned it to me when she phoned me up to invite me along, and I didn't realise what she meant. I thought she meant like the 3D printed tablet stuff. And they asked me for pictures, photographs, once I paid my money, sending my logo and sending pictures of things that I'll be bringing with me to sell. So I sent in pictures of my art bats, my yarn bowls, my 3D printed spindles and niddy noddy sets, and there was something else. And I haven't seen them use any of those. And the other week, it was about a fortnight ago, 3 weeks ago, I put a post up, and there, lo and behold, on this post, there was my bats. There was pictures of my warp weaving yarns, the bamboo ones that I put a post up a while back, months ago that was. And because I hadn't actually sold any, I thought there's no point me investing money that I don't really have and taking them along with me. Though in hindsight, maybe it was a good idea, but that's not the point. I wasn't intending on doing any more at the moment. Because people haven't got the money to spend on them. They're not really cheap, but they're unique. They're something different. And then I saw pictures the other week on this same post of my flaming yarn gauges and my my needle gauge rulers with my WoolieCottage on them. No, I've only got 2 there, but I never mentioned these at all, yet they ended up on this post. So I had to message my next door neighbour but one, Andrew, because he's the one that prints them off from on his laser cutter. And I said, look, can you do me 10 of each? Well, he's only gone and brought me about 40 of each. And I'm like, Andrew, I haven't got the money for that. Because, I mean, just the ones I was ordering from was 50 quid. So I haven't got the money for that. He goes, no, he says, look, just give me the money as and when you sell them, whenever. I'm not in any rush. I'm not going to come knocking on your door. I'm like, well, keep your flaming noise down then and stop doing DIY at 11 o'clock at night. So that's extra stock I've had to get in. And they put pictures up of my stitch markers that I did for the Christmas online virtual market that I did. So I've been making stitch markers like nobody's business, just so I could take some with me. It annoyed me a little bit, but I mean, I wasn't angry or anything like that, but it was like, well, you could have at least messaged me. And if I'd have emailed you to say, hold on a minute, what you doing? I never said I was bringing any of these with me. But Joe being Joe, so no, now I've had to fork out extra for stitch markers, extra for hand-dyed wools, about 150 quid or something like that on yarns for doing those. What else have I paid that extra? Oh, I'm going to have to pay out 45 quid for this new display stand, so I can have that, because I'm losing a table. God, I sound like a right witch bag. Honestly, I'm not whinging. Just sometimes you're like, oh, come on, give me a break. What else are you going to go rooting through my blinking social media account and go and find pictures and screenshot and pinch them? Because I will have a little word. I will say, look, I'm not being funny, but what you did wasn't fair. Because this is the pressure you've put me under, in the sense of it's extra work. It's work I could have really done without. And if I wanted to bring them, I'd have done it off my own back. Not because they've now posted to God knows how many people that Joe will be bringing this with them. So, no, I'm not getting any extra photo space at extra cost. That'd be asking too much, Bridie. So, I do have news, but I'm not allowed to tell yous. I've got to wait for an email for tickets to come and sell. But I've had another application go through for another fair in Scotland. But I'm not telling you what it is. Which one it is, I should say. I'm not even going to give you a hint as to what month it's in. You're going to sell the crap out of everything Victoria says. I hope so. I hope to goodness. 2 days. 2 days. I better sell at least, if I can sell at least half the stuff I take with me, Victoria, then I'll be quite happy. Because that's a fair whack of dosh in my back pocket. Yeah, there's a fair whack of dosh in my back pocket. And I've got to pay for this next one, which is a couple of £100. Plus I've got to pay 25 quid for a stand, for a table to rent. I never understood that. Why do I have to rent a table from you? Well, that was another thing I've had to sort out as well. I'm not saying a thing, Bridie. I'm not saying anything, Bridie. So I've been accepted, and I'll tell you what, I was totally and utterly flabbergasted. Because this one that I've been accepted to are very, 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 very fussy and picky about who they take in. So, yeah. About flaming time. No, Bride, I'm not allowed to say. They actually stated in the email not to mention on social media that we've been accepting that will be vendors at it until they announce it on their own website, the vendors list, and when they announce the tickets for sale. Do they make you give them a percentage of your sales? No, you're just paying for the Willie Good show next week. They don't. None of the big Will shows do anything like that, Victoria. You pay for your stall. The Willie Good show was £175 for me. You paid it up front, all in one go, and that's for a 6x6 stall. And I get that I don't even have to pay for the table with this one. It's a 6x2 table, so like a pasting table size. No, Bridie, I'm not. I can't, honestly. They have said in the email not to mention at all. So I haven't signed a disclosure form or anything, but I'm not saying. I might drop you a message, but I'm not going to say anything on social media. You talk all you want, lady. I do probably need to give you a bit of advance before you book yourself anywhere, though. But you will be looking at a day away. Because the fair track, it takes us how many hours, Phil, to get there? I think it's about 3 and a bit hours, 3.5 hours to get to where it's going to be. So I'm not saying anything else on that one. Yeah, so the other one that I've been invited to is £230 plus £25 to rent a table. So yeah, but we don't pay any percentage on the actual stand. What we sell is hours. So genuinely, all I need to do to make to start seeing any sort of profit, apart from like, I mean, it's all bought and paid for. It's already done. It's behind me now. Selling it is the main thing when it comes to me, because I'm a little cash business. I don't get anything on tick. So once I've bought it in, it's like going shopping for a new pair of shoes. You're like, oh, I wish I'd spent that much money because I've just got a bill in, but it's gone now. Can't do anything about it. It's spent. So as far as, I mean, when I look at these, I just see, right, that's money back in the bank. You are saying loads. I'm not saying loads at all. Victoria asked about, do we pay for, do we get charged any type of fees for selling when we're there? And I'm like, no, we don't. And explaining how it's run in Britain. It's probably different over in the States, Phil, or in Canada. They may get told to pay a percentage of whatever they do at their stalls. So no, it's different for us here in the UK. We literally pay for our stall and that's it. Anything else is above. So for me, once I get past that 175, anything else above that is all back money in the bank. So yeah, Phil, do you know what? Phil, you're only here as a minder to watch out for trolls, not to get involved, to start telling me off. I'm not saying anything. It's blinking Bridie that's been naughty. How many bats are coming with me to Edinburgh? I've heard that from an American crafter. Yeah, they do. I think they do a lot. Quite a few of these event organisers actually charge them for a percentage off the stalls. Some shows do want a percentage. It's good that people realise how much it costs off for vendors to have a stall. It's a lot of work and it costs before you make a profit. Yeah, the Woolly Wales one, they start at £230 upwards. Some of the stalls at the Woolly Wales, and when Cockermas Will Show was still around, you're talking like £300 to £500 for a stall. And that's all right if you're a big thingy. But you need to realise that we need to make this money to pay back to cover the cost of those tables. So if you've got a really low crowd coming in, especially the way the current finances are for people, not a lot of people have got a lot of money to spend. And that's without travelling overstate. Yeah, when I went to the Willie Pop-Up show down in Merseyside on the Wirral in August 22. Yeah, it was 22. And I went down and did that. Phil and I had to take Iona with us, and we had to book in. And the only place we could book in was literally on the border of Wales. So we had to drive from the Wirral all the way down to this pub with that would allow dogs to stay in. And Iona was amazing. It was the first time I was staying anywhere that wasn't like a home. So we took Iona. We had to pay for this hotel for the night. We were there 2 nights. Drive up to the Wirral the next morning, up to Port Sunlight, do the stand, and then pack it all away, and then go back to the hotel that evening. The pub. What was that place called, Phil? Now you can talk. What was it called? It was literally just on the Welsh border. We were technically in Wales. And then we drove back up the road the next day on the Sunday, and we had to go and pick up Scardy that Sunday as well. We'd literally flung all the bits and pieces in the back in the car, and I went and picked up Scardy from the farmer that day and all. So yeah, that wasn't cheap. I think that cost us about £160 for the overnight stay. A lot of people, honestly, people don't understand how expensive it can get. And I didn't even I sold enough stuff at that Wool pop-up show to cover the price of my stand and about another £30. And that was it. That's all I sold. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with that. And Graham keeps asking me to go back. I'm like, it's just not worth my hassle. That was a couple of years ago. You really was it mould? It might have been mould. MOLD. Just on the other side of the Welsh border, between Merseyside and Thingy. Any friends, my friend sleeps in a van. Yeah, quite a few do that. I mean, like you've got Coastal Colours, they've got their big mobile camper van. They sleep in their van as well. I think Threshing Barn, she's been known to sleep in that van once or twice. Yeah. And then you've got the other one, she goes off and does her own thing now. And doesn't she sleep in her little van if they don't go and do like an Airbnb? Not an Airbnb, but like a budget hotel. Yeah, there's quite a few that do actually sleep in their vans and cars, because you can't judge how it's going to be. And with this Woolly Good Gathering, it's their first one, you see. So they may have sold all the tickets, and they've got quite a few workshops going on, and they've got quite a few talks going on, and they've got the Edinburgh Wool Dyers and Weavers Guild, Spinners Guild there as well. So I think they're hoping that they'll get decent foot traffic off the street because it's in the city centre. But the Summer Hall Gallery does a lot of walk-in fairs anyway. I'm sure it was called Mould. They do a lot of walking off the street fairs. They do craft fairs, art fairs, that sort of thing as well. So people are used to seeing signs up at the front of the gallery anyway for every public events. So we'll see. It'll be a new experience, and the fact that I'm getting asked to go into Scotland is easier for Phil and I to go up there. I mean, logistically, it's like 2.5 hours for us to drive from here straight north. Well, north and across to Edinburgh. It takes us 2 and a bit hours, which is not bad at all. But for us to get down to Manchester, it takes us nearly 2.5, 3 hours to get there. And there's nowhere to really stay. It's mad. But yet I can get to Edinburgh in a couple of hours and Phil can be back home by lunchtime. So I think that's what, I think I would rather stay in Scotland because it doesn't feel so bad. Villa Jones, I'd like to buy your things, but I'm afraid of the shipping because I'm in USA. I post out to America all the time. Victoria's on here. I post out to America constantly, a good few times a month. And I still like to post out to Australia, New Zealand as well as Europe. Take some throat sweets too. I'm taking a little bowl of wrapped up boiled sweets and sherbet lemons and that to have on my stand. Because if nobody dips into them, I'm sure I will and Sandra will. So Villa, yeah, you are more than welcome. And I do a discount code. I do a discount code for subscribers. So if you want to go onto the website and subscribe if you don't already, Vita Jones, then you should get a 10% discount code that you can use anytime. And it practically, depending on how much you've spent, it covers quite a bit of the expense of the postage. You would have to buy about, I don't know, about say 800, 900 grams of bats. So maybe about four bats. And that's going to cost you anywhere between £18 to £20 postage. But it's tracked. And touching wood now, general rule, it's there with you within 10 working days. I don't use anyone else. I only use Royal Mail tracked international postage because of the insurance that I get back if it ever goes missing. And I've definitely not had anything go wrong. And touching wood, I hate seeing stuff like this because it just makes me cringe internally. You're like, oh, Joe, you're jinxing yourself. But yeah, no, I don't have any problems that way. I've been posting out to the States for 7, nearly 8 years. And that's how long I've been doing this for, but nearly 8 years now, professionally, as WoolieCottage. But yeah, I know I think you guys' exchange rate at the moment is not far off dollar for pound. Give a couple of squiddly pence and cents here and there. It is extortionate, but it's extortionate for us as well. But yeah, I mean, the price varies. You're probably looking at ordering one bat. It's going to cost you about 11, 12 quid. A couple of bats in a pack is going to cost you about 16 to 18 pounds. Victoria says, so worth it, even shipping, don't hesitate. There you go. Thanks, Victoria. Yeah, I Kentucky, Texas, Missouri I've sent to before. I've sent to New Mexico, New York I do quite a lot. Massachusetts, up in Canada, there's quite a few people that I've posted up there too as well. San Francisco, where else I'm trying to think of the top of my mind, the top of my head. San Francisco, some really weird name places. Warrington I always get confused with because my mum and dad live in Warrington, and Warrington's a really weird, I always like, that sounds like Warrington, that does, in Cheshire. It's where my mum and dad come from. So when I see place names like that, I'm like, Manchester in Massachusetts. Is it Massachusetts? I think I've actually sent one to New Birmingham or something like that. Virginia. Yeah. So, yeah, Virginia, I've done loads of different parts of Virginia as well. I've done Fredericksburg and God knows where else. So, yeah, Port Royal. Warrington, Virginia. Yeah, well, my mum and dad live in Warrington, Cheshire. But it made me think when I read it, I'm like, I had to stop myself from typing out the address as well as Warrington, delete it back again. I'm like, the postcode's never going to fit for that one. So, yeah, so no, don't hesitate. If you're a bit curious, and just drop me a message. Best way to get me is on Instagram and private message me on there. And if there's a couple of things, I can give you a rough idea. If you've got your eye on something, I can give you a rough idea how much it's going to cost, Vita. So, not a problem. Just drop me a message. So, yeah. Well, people, we've got through 44 minutes without any trolls today. That's the same way we pronounce it. What, Warrington? Yeah, you say Warrington, but Warrington in Cheshire is Warrington. Warrington. Yeah. So that's where my mum's side of the family come from. The English lot. My dad's side, Scottish Highlands. So yeah, I think with 44 minutes, I'm not going to chance my bets and cast any aspersions, but it looks like the 4-week break away from doing live chats has done its job. So I won't be here next week, but you have got, for those that are watching later on, I have uploaded I'm sure it's a blending video or a dye video from my very first Patreon back in January. So I know, Phil, I know. Maybe it's because you're here, love. Yeah, that's ready to premiere next week. When I do my video, when I do my spinning wheel next week, because everything will be all done and packed and ready for me to go, I'll be sat there twiddling my thumbs looking for something to do. I will do my spinning wheel maintenance and clean it all up, and I'll video that. And then when I come back, I'll put that on there. Yeah, because when I come back, it'll be live chat time. And we can put the world to rights about the fair and my experiences. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for turning up today. And for those that come and watch it later on, thank you very much for your continued support. If you wanted more content, you can find me over on Patreon as well, and you can join up for free for 7 days. If not, or after that 7 days, you can decide on 2 tier levels. You're more than welcome to come over here. The community is really growing a little bit slow over there, but it's perfect. Not too many people. A lot of grumpiness, though. Anyway, I'm off. Take care of yourselves, and I shall speak to you in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.